Obviously, you played a lot last week, but now that Z's out for a while, this is a great opportunity for you. Is that how you're viewing this? Is you really have your opportunity here to earn playing time for the long haul here?
Yeah, that's how I view it. Basically, it's more so because I talked to Z, of course, and he's like, man, this is a great opportunity for you. So I see it as such. Of course, I want everyone on the team to be healthy, but I'm glad I get to play. I really work hard so I could play. So this is gonna be a good opportunity for me.
Just wondering, what do you think is the biggest difference in you as a player now versus your rookie year? Where do you think, where's the biggest area in which you've developed, do you think?
I would say experience and stamina really, because as a rookie I got way heavier than I've ever been in my life, and then I dropped a few pounds, run faster, able to breathe more and be able to be in tune with the game the whole time because I'm not gasping for air the whole time. So that's definitely probably the most immediate biggest improvement. And then experience, of course, is going to carry me a long way to more, I gather.
Hey, kind of branching off of that, in terms of the second year, was that an emphasis for you? I mean, in terms of, your training in the off season to potentially, with what you want to do with your body and just the way you came back, or how has that sort of process been?
Yeah, personally, it was an emphasis because if you watch Z or any of the other guys, they've been very successful in their careers. And one thing about it is when everybody else gets tired, when it's going on the 6th, 7th play, possibly the 9th play of the drive, that's when sometimes they come alive and bam, it's a sack. And then they put the team off the field because, they're in great condition. And then they just have the mindset also just to get it done no matter what. So that's something that I've been training myself to do, because to me, they're the obvious hallmark of really what you should be doing. So I really took that as a personal thing and worked harder on that this offseason personally.
Hey, Jonathan, what's the approach this time around going into this game day, knowing you'll get even more opportunities?
The same approach. I've been watching film, even the games where I didn't even dress, I watch film a lot, make sure I focus on practice, watch what everybody does. We talk to each other about things. And then, before you get to the game, the things you've been doing, the way you review film and everything show up in practice. So, it's obvious I've been doing, what I was supposed to do. So I just try to keep it at that. And then, focus on this game like I do every other game. Because if you try to do too much, then you're going to mess yourself up.
I don't know how, Joe Barry plans on playing this without Z, but if he were to use you in some of those situations in the middle, like he does with Z and moves him around, is that something you'd feel comfortable doing and something that might allow you to get to the quarterback?
Yeah, in any situation where we're out on the field, I think it'll allow me to get to the quarterback. One thing, it's an obvious thing I would say is, I'm not Z, so I won't, be as he is, I'll be as I am. And, do the best that I can.
Wes, go ahead.
Jonathan, how beneficial was training camp and in the preseason after coming in kind of behind the 8 ball last year and only having a certain amount of practices in August? How much do you think that helped you, in preparation for this, second year?
It made me get used to playing football again, really. That's the first thing, especially considering last year, at the end of the year, I didn't play for a while. It made me get used to what it's like, to be in the game, to be in the environment and everything. And really, when I talk about experience, it was a lot of things that I learned just, over these few preseason games and in the training camp that, last year I never had the opportunity to learn. I just was in the game, and I guess that's what I'm saying. Experience, it shows no matter the body type or, how strong or powerful you are. The experience makes a difference in how you play. And it's the difference between a lot of plays and versus not making any plays at all or just being in the right position,
Hey, Jonathan, a couple of weeks ago, Mike Smith had a lot of good things to say about you, including this. He's going to be a damn good football player. One of the smartest, if not the smartest in the room. Picks up things very, very fast. He's going to have a great career. I want to talk about the intelligence part of it. Are you just naturally smart? Is it football smart? What does he mean by that?
Well, I just pay attention, that's all I can say. I pay attention, I go home and study. I'm not gonna sit here and claim to be the smartest man in the world or boast about it, but I pick up things when it comes to football, I pick up things relatively quickly, if I don't pick it up, then I'm gonna go home and study it. So either way, I'm gonna figure it out, before too long.
Just wondering, as you kind of get this expanded role now, are there any coaches or players who've been particularly helpful in kind of letting you know what to expect and what to be ready for? And I don't know if there's what the best piece of advice you might have received has been.
Well, they've been doing that consistently really since I got here. The whole message is, get ready. You never know when your time is going to come, and just be ready when your time comes. Of course, Rashawn really, to me, all of them have been real role models, but Rashawn really, always when I come in, that's the first person here, out of him, Z and Preston, that's the first person here, usually that I see, but they're all always here early, and I think that's really impressive. But Rashawn's locker is pretty close to mine, so of course I see him. And he explains to me, even stuff I may not even realize about, when I talk about experience, about how I may be lining up a certain way or using a certain technique, or just understanding and communicating to a teammate what's coming, how I'm understanding the game more, how everything is slowing down. It's really, they've always encouraged me, and they encourage everybody in our room. So, Z and Preston sometimes tell us stories about them and, how they used to be on special teams, and how sometimes you got to do whatever you need to do, to be here and to be on the team and make an impact on the team. So that's been one of my emphasis too. I'm trying to be the best I can be, not only, just in the game on defense, but on special teams. I really want to make an impact there if I can.
Jonathan, speaking of special teams, I think you came pretty close to blocking a punt, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Against the Saints. Yeah, what would you have done differently there? And is that somewhere where you think you can show up, week to week?
As far as showing up week to week, yes, I think so. Just by doing my assignments and not doing anything else special. Just like pass rush, you're not always going to get there. For there, it's even less, opportunities to rush. But I think what would I have done differently? Man, I was really close. Honestly, if I could say anything, I was playing the proper technique to ensure that I didn't rough the punter, but I had enough body control where I could have crossed his face and probably could have possibly blocked it without hitting him. So I just would have took that chance if I could do it all over again.
Yeah, one more thing that Mike was talking about was your strength. This may be a stupidly obvious question, but how is that strength to your advantage as far as maybe setting up the rest of your game?
Well, now it's possibly the basis of my pass rush, I would say. It's not in a bad way, it doesn't mean, that I'm slow or anything, but using your power, using, what you do best, sets up everything else. And then as far as playing the run, of course, that's always great, being able to hold the edge and then being able to really to enforce your will wherever you want to go. Or if one person is trying to go one way, you prevent that and force him to go another way against his will. So that's where strength and really leverage comes in the play all the time. So sometimes not always strength. You got to have the proper leverage to move people out of the way when you need to.